Okay. This looks a little...
Are we live?
All right, we're live.
Okay, hi everybody. This is RT Bear, and welcome to another portfolio review. This is our 22nd one so far. This time flies when you're having fun. So, if you don't know, my name's RT Bear. I have over 30 years logged in as a comic book professional, working for both Marvel and DC on titles like Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Superman, you name it. I probably have worked on it. And as always, we have Taylor Grosso to read your chats.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Aaron. I think you're going to like this episode. I'll be reading your chats today.
Is it Aaron? Is Aaron here?
He's here.
Hey, Aaron, go get some friends. Come on. There's nothing better to do on a Saturday afternoon than watch me break a bunch of hearts, aspiring comic book hearts. Nah, that's not what we do here. We have fun. We have fun, and we're trying to make things better for artists everywhere. So here we go. So this is, let me see, as always, we'll kind of scroll and see if we can get this artist's name. Aaron, how would you say that?
Alfecci?
Alfecci? Alfecci.
I believe this is the very Aaron in the chat.
Hey, Aaron. How did you... Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, oh, that's mine.
How did he know? I'll tell you right now, Aaron, I don't even know why you sent this to me. This is amazing. Are you working professionally now, Aaron? What are you doing? Talk to me.
Don't be shy, Aaron.
Don't be shy, Aaron. Wow. I want to throw some ink on these pages right now, Aaron. Wow.
Yes, I'm doing pages, says Aaron.
Who are you working for? Wow, this is really nice. This may be a short episode. Well, it's a good thing. We were definitely going to focus on Aaron's art. So I'm going to, this is Aaron 2, I believe. Yeah. So I think we have 3 Aaron pages here.
Top secret, says Aaron.
Well, it says Space Ape Adventures here, so I don't know how top secret this project is.
The secret's out, Aaron.
I'm sorry, Aaron, we outed you. Actually, you outed yourself. Sweet Mama Jamma. This is nice.
Love the art. The chat is really digging this.
Okay. Wow, this is going to be hard. This is a challenge. Aaron has thrown me a challenge. After this page, after we look at this page, I will step up to this challenge.
Primal Raid says, love the signed cable print I got from Art.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you. And if anybody else wants some cable prints or any other prints, where can they go, Taylor?
You can go to artbytbear.com and the link will be in the description after this.
Exactly.
Title says, where do you get those blank pages? I'm assuming he means the Bristol paper like that this is done on?
Yeah, God, what is the brand? There's a certain brand. Is it Art? Maybe Taylor knows. Is it Blue Line Pro? Is that a brand?
I don't remember.
Blue Line Pro. There's a certain paper. The old Blue Line Pro paper was really, really bad. It has the Blue Line format and everything on it, but it doesn't ink up well. The paper bleeds really bad. So the only paper I know for sure not to get is the Blue Line Pro paper. And usually just the Bristol brand, Strathmore brand, Bristol board, smooth is really all you need. So that usually takes ink very well and can take a pretty good beating with a pencil. So just get yourself some Bristol board. It comes in 11 by 17 sheets. It might be a little bigger than 11 by 17, but then just rule it up 11 by 17. This outer, this is live art right here. So what they call this dotted line right here, this is live art. And then this is the edge of the paper, like the printed, like your page, like usually what the consumer will see. And then from here to this dotted line is what they call the crop area. So the printing process usually gives you a little bit of a crop. So they have a little bit of leeway to, when they cut it, it's not an exact science. So in lieu of cutting into artwork, they give you, we designed the boards with a little bit of extra space. So like from here to here, the cutting of the page by the machines, it could be here, it could be here. I mean, it could be on the line too. You never know. So that's why you give a little bit of wiggle room there for the printers when they put these books together. So if you ever see these dots, that's what they mean. And when I mean live art, everything that is to be lettered goes in this dotted line area. So if there's going to be a word balloon, it would be right in here. It wouldn't be here. It would be here, because if you go beyond this, I mean, sometimes they'll bleed a little bit past it, but if it goes too far beyond this, then it can get in the crop or in the margin of the of the actual printed page, and then it's just, you know, you don't want to lose some of your lettering. So it's always in that dotted line area. So usually when you lay out a page, you try to stay within this live art area. So you can see this one bleeds a little bit past. This one goes all the way. This one doesn't go to the bleed area, but this one does go to the bleed area, meaning that it'll go all the way off the page. This one and this crop right here are a little odd, because what you usually try to do when you lay these pages out is it would be better if he drew the border, if Aaron drew the border right here versus here, because sometimes this gets a little weird in the printing and the finished product. On the sides, the left to right, he's got them pretty much on the line. But like this is going to get weird. I would have just taken it all the way. Either take it all the way to the bleed or keep it in the live art area. But these in-between kind of things, it gets a little strange. Sometimes it doesn't paginate well and print well. See how this is on the live art area? This is kind of what I considered kind of a perfect crop. All this, and then the bottom here. And that's just a technical thing, because you don't want to, you don't want to work really hard and then have something get lost in the cropping or whatever, or just to be really awkward. Like I think sometimes this stuff gets awkward in the printing process for the final page. Man, Aaron, these ape faces are amazing. If somebody doesn't have a Planet of the Apes book out right now, and you're not working on it, it's a crime. You should be drawing ape faces, because this is amazing. Wow, I love all your hatching. From an inker standpoint, it's kind of there's not a lot of definition, thins to thicks, but all your progressions are well defined, meaning moving in from like thin to thick, like the lines are getting closer together. I can already see how I would ink this up, and it would be a little different than the way you penciled it, but I can definitely see where you were going in all of this. Some pencilers kind of put more of a thin to thick, but this is cool as well.
Primal Rage says you can get comic book paper at Michael's. Have you ever used that art? It's like the Bristol that's already has like the guides on it.
What is that stuff called? That is a Bristol or Strathmore brand, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a Strathmore brand.
If it's a Strathmore brand, it's usually good paper. So if you find paper that has the Strathmore logo on it, it's usually pretty good quality. And the paper varies from print run to print run, or from however they make that stuff. So sometimes it's a little better, sometimes it's a little worse. Even the DC and Marvel board goes that way as well, though. Wow, these are great layouts. These are great compositions. So far, Aaron, I would just say some of your cropping on the panels gets a little strange. But I've seen stuff like this before, and most of the time it works out okay. I'm just kind of talking from a general do's and don'ts. There's always exceptions. Wow, this 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 dude right here.
Pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that's so darn cool. This little banana alien bug looking device back here, the ship, that thing looks cool. Man, I want to ink this. I want to throw some ink on this. Look at this. This is so cool. It's really fun. It's got a lot of energy to it. The drawing is really strong. I don't know, Aaron. Anything I say would probably be a little nitpicky, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, this is a pet peeve of mine. Let me move it a little down. Is when you have something break a border panel here, and then it doesn't follow suit. So I always think it looks odd when the same head or part of the body or whatever, like some parts crop, but some parts break the border and some don't. So I would say break this as well, and it'll look more complete. I think it breaks up the head in a weird way. If this is indeed is the back of this character's head, I think it is his other ear back here. So I think I would rather see this thing come past the border panel. These alien designs are amazing. Whoops. Wow. Well, this is just going to turn into a spotlight for Aaron. Gosh, I love the powers coming from the guns. Little ray guns. Those these domes are really cool. This highlight right here is what I call tasty. It's just perfect. Gosh, I love this style. This hatchwork is crazy cool. Yeah, I would say you probably want a little bit more of an advanced inker, I think, to work on this, because like I can envision how to do this, but I would think possibly an inker that doesn't have my years might have a harder time figuring this stuff out, because I know exactly how this stuff would fade into a black and how to do this and keep all the integrity and the kinetic energy in there.
Primal Rage says, too bad you're not an editor looking to hire.
I'm sure anybody at first glance of Aaron's work, if it's all as good as this, is not going to have a problem finding work at all. I'm just glad at this point I can give Aaron some exposure. I hope it helps, because I sure don't have a lot to say in the form of any kind of anatomy or layout or any kind of criticism like that. All right, let's go here. Man, you are not afraid of doing some work here, Aaron. Wow, look at this ape face, just a throwaway monitor face. And you know it's gonna have like cool text. It's like brr, brr, like printout stuff, like whatever, like little backstory on the ape right in here. That'll be cool. These little apes and these tanks. Wow.
Really good storytelling.
Man, that sucks you in. This guy, the finger, the movement here. This guy, you must have got a photo. You know this person right here, because this This face right here is it's too perfect. Yeah, this is going to be tricky though, Aaron, when you look for an inker or when you find an inker, because this could fall apart really, really quickly because there's a lot of hatching into hatching, and it would be a shame to have somebody just destroy this in inks.
Title says this is heavy metal level.
Yeah, good heavy metal. Okay, this is where I'm gonna get in here. Okay, we have this plane. I'm gonna thicken it up a little bit. Okay, the face, and then we have this. Let me find my. So he's got. Well, it's probably angled a little too much. And so then we have like the side of the face. Kind of trying to structure this up in some kind of plane. Try to find the planes. Actually, you can kind of see the eyes are a little. I think maybe this eye here. Trying to figure this out. Maybe over just a little bit. Like right in here. And then like if you bring the jaw over, it's a little wide. So if you did that, maybe even in a little bit further, and then bring the ear in, the hairline. So it just, there's parts of the face that aren't quite. See, I think you just kind of didn't find where the planes transition from front to side. And so I always suggest put guidelines in. These guidelines are really loose and they're not quite accurate. So don't hold me to those. But I do believe that this eye needs to go over a little bit. And then by doing that, move the mouth as well. And possibly, it depends on the structure of his face, but his face looks a little flat. So if you bring the nose bridge back a little bit, but it depends on the structure of the guy's face. Some people have a really flat nose. So, you know, that works. So I just think some of the structure on the face is a little wonky, and I think just find the planes would help. And then my next is, I know he's got a jacket, like one of those lab coats on, and I know that they're a little baggy, but I think it's a little too, he's a little too big. Like if we scaled him down.
Inkwell says, great videos, really informative. Thanks so much.
Oh, you are welcome. It is my pleasure. And if anybody takes anything from this and it can help them, that's what it's all about. And always, guys, let's pay this forward. So if you find an aspiring artist or whatever, take some time, talk to them. You know, let them be a beneficiary of your knowledge. So I think that there's two ways to do this. You can minimize the shoulders and some of the thickness on the sleeves and things, or maybe make the head a little bigger or both. But this is really, really, really good. So, so like I said, Aaron, I mean, you are well on your way. I think, especially from an inker point of view, I would like to see maybe this a little more resolved. It gets like where the thumb and the palm are, it gets a little too vague. It's a little too much scratchiness and not enough structure. So be aware, Aaron, that you got this nice kinetic hatching and this oh, excuse me, gosh, I'm needing to get a water. Hold on, guys. Is that my water here?
Over here.
Oh, thanks. Hold on. Sorry about that. That sometimes, you know, with all like the hatching and things, we can lose sight of structure. So a lot of the structure's kind of falling apart in here. Like I said, from an inker, like from my point of view, I can structure that up. But I'm just trying to give you some pointers, Aaron, because you might not be working with somebody that has 30 years of experience. So some of that stuff might fall apart. So always just err on the side of caution. Just like this hand right here, it's kind of not, it's not structurally that good. I could probably bring this together, but I think that some, you know, less experienced people, you know, might have a hard time. And actually looking at it right now, it is a little awkward. I think it might be better if you did, you know, just one of those simple, you know, hand gestures like this. Like the oh my hand gesture. Oh my. Who's that guy that says that, Taylor? That Star Trek guy?
Sulu.
Sulu. Oh my. This face is great though. That guy's face is awesome. Yeah, so I think the hand is a little, it's weirdly kind of cut back and gnarly. And I think it would have more expression if it was like, what? You know, like more open. Like, what's going on? Especially since this guy's pointing like, hey, look at this. And he's like, whoa. And I'll tell you, this guy, this is gonna, I'm gonna showcase your talent right here. Look at that face.
Primal Raid says Aaron has mad talent. I agree.
That thing is amazing. I'd take a brush to this hair, like a big thick brush, boom, boom, boom. I just brush that stuff in, and then I get a nib and just pull out, bop, 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 and then find like right here. I'd go like a nice thin to thick-ish, and then kind of keep the weight down in this area here. And then I'd go really, really thin and then fade it right into the black, right into this hair, his beard, his Wolverine sideburns. Look at that. Wow. It makes me want to ink. Now that I look, I'm not sure.
What's he holding?
Yeah, that's, I'm kind of trying to figure out what this is too. Is that a joystick or? Yeah, I'm not sure, but here's one of those undefined hands. I think that an inexperienced inker might have a hard time with.
Khan says, I love Art's inking onomatopoeia.
I would get rid of this line right here because I think it's not serving it. And I think an inexperienced guy would probably ink that line. I wouldn't, and some of these lines in the knuckles and stuff I would simplify or just keep it, you know, take them out. Wow. That looks like a bigger man's hands too, like somebody that's a little thicker. These hands are really nice. All this tech is just brilliant. My goodness. Yeah. I feel like Taylor and I should write you a story so we can put you to work. Wow, the simplification of these I think these are monkeys in the spacesuits, and these screens is very cool.
Yeah, I think if you can tell a story about a space ape, you can tell a story about anything
Yeah.
and convey it well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a joystick, Taylor, or something. I don't.
Someone in the chat said it was a recording device, but I
Yeah,
don't know. By
maybe.
the way he's holding it, it doesn't. It's very like slim. I don't know. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like it.
This is a great face, but I know you're trying to make him like he's moving towards the screen, but I think what I would do is if you push this back, like his double chin, and just kept this shape, it's gonna make him look like he's moving like in this direction better. So like his head is coming past the double chin, which is basically his neck. And then I know you're trying to get this foreshortened, but this might be a little too small, the collar.
Khan says Aaron's got faces for days, man.
Yeah, these are really good. So I think maybe the neck and make the tie a little bit bigger. I love the way he's moving towards the screen. Like, what? What is that? Once again, this is really loose, but find your planes. And it'll help you, I think, find some of your landmarks better. I think the ear is there, but maybe that little black piece looks like it's not quite right. But just be aware of that, Aaron. Okay, this is kind of a harken back to kind of a cool Neil Adams face. So this front part of the face is really well done. I think there's something when you transition your planes. For me,
this is a really hard angle to draw from.
Yeah, maybe the ear is a little too far. Let me figure this out. That might be a little too low, but it looks like you're looking a little too up at the ear too. It's a little too exaggerated. And I know this guy's got a bit of a receding hairline, but I think I'd still bring it in a little bit. It's still pulled back pretty far. I think that might help. Yeah, I think there's a lot of kinetic hatching going on here, but I think sometimes it's getting in the way of some of your structure. So I think I'd spend a little bit more time figuring out the structure and then just bring in the hatching. It looks like you're kind of doing it all at the same time though, which is really hats off, but maybe try to spend a little bit more time figuring out some of the structure. And once again, I think these your shoulders This guy almost looks ape like himself. So I think I'd bring these shoulders down a little as well. Hand is brilliant. This is really nice. I really like this guy's face. I just don't. I'm going to ask the question of the room. Like, do you think it looks just weird just showing up in the panel though? Is it maybe too big? Like it's too far in the foreground from the other guy? Because in the panel before, you know, he's still behind the guy with the glasses, but their heads are relatively the same size. And maybe this guy just looks like he's cropped weird and maybe a little too big. So what do you guys think?
Con says it's a touch too elongated.
It's definitely elongated, but I'm also thinking there's something awkward like with the cropping, because if you take it into the live art, well, the live art is here, right here. But if you take this face into where it will probably get cropped, it's going to get cropped right at his mouth. So it almost looks like a severed...
Awkward.
Yeah, it looks like a severed head or something. So once again, the one thing I see reoccurring, Aaron, is that there's this distance here. It's a plane thing. So really, I think the ear, well, it would be where you, the lower area that you have it. But I think they need to come in a little bit more. And what I would do with this guy, this is a really brilliantly drawn face. It's really well done. And then of course you move the hair back here. And I think just as soon as you do that, let me redraw that.
Yeah, everybody in the chat agrees with this sentiment.
Yeah, it starts, let's do this again. Bring this back. It starts working better as just a structured face, but I think, let me take all my guidelines off and just do what I'm thinking instead of trying to explain it. Since art is a visual medium, like, I don't know, this is going to be like just a really weirdly loosely structured face. I'm trying to match Aaron's drawing here. But even that's kind of weirdly cropped, but it looks more like he's in real time with this guy. So maybe by making the guy with the glasses a little smaller and maybe move him up so where you can see a little bit more of him. So like the eyes would be, they would be in here. You know, the nose, and then the mouth would be completely within, you know, within the panel. So it's not cropped at the mouth, because I think cropped at the mouth looks a little awkward and weird. So I would do that if I still really wanted to get that guy into the frame, into the panel. But once again, Aaron, this is me kind of, you know, I mean, you'll figure this stuff out. I know you will. In time, but maybe this might actually, you know, get you to move faster. You know, sometimes when people point out, because I think those problems are reoccurring in your work. So maybe you can break some habits, some bad habits before, you know, you spend too much time with them. This face is so amazing. I can't stop looking at it. Okay, so let's move on.
And this is one of his other, this one's called Shakers. It's still Aaron.
Mover and Shaker.
So no longer a space ape.
Yeah, this looks like there's still a lot of rendering, but it's a little more open. So the structure shows a little bit more. I like the stylized angles. I really like that. The points and everything.
That's a pretty cool opening shot for a page.
Yeah, it's great. The way this is this is weird. I'm just a weirdo. The way this cuff on on these pants overlap this foot and this whole leg here, man, that's not easy to do either. To overlap the shape and foreshorten the leg like that. That's really cool. Some of these folds here get a little weird. I think I know you're trying to show that there's like a lot of movement, so you're pushing tension on all these folds, but they all look a little too like speed lines. So I know that that's what you're going for, but maybe if some of them broke pattern, because I think they're just too patterned, like maybe if some of them, well, that's not a good, but if some of them maybe broke pattern a little bit, I don't know how to do this. Maybe if some of them weren't always like going all the way across,
They're a little ropey.
Yeah, they're a little action liney, and then he's got all these back here. So I know what he's going for. He was trying to, like, without drawing action lines, he was trying to show movement with the clothing, and that's awesome. But I think there's just a little too much of it going on. So I think if you simplified that, especially on the sleeve here, or just change direction on some of them so they look more organic, like folds, and less action lines. Look at this arm. Oops, wrong tool. Get my red back. I didn't do it, did I? Okay. If I click, oh, I missed it. There we go. All right, here we go. Look at that. My goodness. That's hard to do, especially with such simplified forms. This hand is structured up really nice. Wow, this is really cool. Yeah, I can't find any fault with this. She's doing the old judo flip. Right here is a little bit of a tangent. Just either move the border out or move him in this way a little bit. But once again, kind of nitpicky. Kind of nitpicking. Wow, Shakers is cool. Hitting that vault door. That vault door is very cool as well. Look at this handle.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that right here. That's so sweet. Sweet.
Looks like it hurts.
Yeah, it looks like his head's like smacking right into that edge. Oh man, that's cool. Look at that gesture. That dude's out. He is knocked cold. Look at his hand just kind of coming back in a weird position. Yeah, one thing about, like, if you're going to draw guys knocked out, like, make them look limp, it's really hard to do, but Aaron really nailed it here.
People in the chat are saying something about her legs in the first panel.
Yeah, like, I wasn't going to point it out. This back leg here. And maybe the knee is turned. Is that what you guys were talking about? Like, the knee might be a little bit...
Yeah, Title was saying her legs look wrong.
Yeah, but I look at this movement of this thigh. That's really cool. I think it was a good call, you guys. Yeah, I think maybe if the knee was over a little bit, the rhythm of this is cool, just kinetically, but it might not be structurally. Sometimes you got to go for, like, the cool factor. Sometimes it's not always perfect, but it just looks cool. So I think maybe if the knee was over, to the left, and then this leg looks like it's kind of going in this direction.
The Title's saying he thinks that he needs the leg should be switched. Do you think that would work?
Like, this leg should be the
one that's down and the one's up?
The rhythm of it, like, this should be long and then this one should be short. I think it'd make her look like she was jumping.
Yeah.
I think this way it looks like she's spinning her body around. So the weight is on this leg, and then the torso's spinning around. I don't know. I mean, she is kind of looks like she could be running. You know, I mean, maybe if you wanted to, look at that. It's going to be really bad. Just as an idea, just plant that other leg. But I really like this movement. I think, just for me, I think if the leg was maybe going in more that direction, maybe a little bigger. But this is me nitpicking. This is...
Cool holster.
Yeah. Gosh, look at that cool hatching. Yeah, here's another one of those, Aaron. You're going to get into some trouble. That hand just needs to be structured up better. I think some newbie inkers are going to have a problem with that. Once again, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I think some people would. It's a great upshot. That guy's still awake. Didn't knock him out. Trying to get away from her. That's cool. He's in the shadows. The shadows on that face are really, really good, Aaron. This is really nice. It's a real nice panel. This panel, the last one gets a little awkward, I think. Let me make it smaller. It's just the space right here is a little... I think it would look better if maybe it was here and then make this... Oops. The heck? If you made that with that extra space, bring the panel out here. And I gotta push that one button first. Go away. Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay. All right, let's see if I can do this right. Okay, there we go. Just because the balance is off. I mean, there's room for dialogue over here still, and there's room for dialogue here, and then I hope he's not speaking, because if he is, it's gonna go over her feet, which would be horrible, because those feet are really cool. But always be aware of that, especially as your last panel here. I think there was just a little too much weight over here, or too much open area. Oh, wow, look at her. She's just like, yeah, well, now what are you going to do? You're going to get away from me? What are you going to do? You're going to tell me everything I need to know. That's what she's saying, right, Taylor?
Look at that expression. That's sad.
That guy's jacked. Look at him. Oh, God. Ah. What are you doing?
I feel bad for him.
I know. And she's so smug. Look at this hand, though. Look at this. That's very feminine. And then this fist. Sweet mama jamma. Look at that. That is so cool. And he's still kind of moving forward. It looks like he's still kind of crawling. Like the panel before, it looked like he was moving, like he's trying to get away from her, but he's just too jacked up. And look at her. She's like, oh, really? Why don't I care? I don't know who the bad guy's supposed to be in this story. Okay. I'm trying to... I don't know if her shoulder is up too high. I don't, it looks like her shoulder's up a little too high. What were you going to say, Taylor?
I was going to say, Aaron, if you're still in the chat, can you let us know at least whether this is like an indie book or if this has been something published? Because I know these are two different projects.
Yeah, and who's the good guy and who's the bad guy?
Give us some input on what's going on.
I need to know how the story's going to end. Yeah, your anatomy's really good. It just gets a little structurally wonky at times. This is really nice. It's really good, Aaron. Really, really good. Thank you so much for sending your stuff. And like I said, this is me kind of nitpicking on stuff. I think you could definitely step in and get work. But some of the planes in the face and some of the awkwardness in the structures, I think if you're kind of aware of those things and work on those. But this is really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So we have anything in the chat, Taylor?
I don't think so. But you guys, we still need submissions. So after this, I'll add all the links in the description to the Dropbox. So if you have anything that you'd like to submit for Art to go over, feel free to do so. But please, as always, include your name and the file name to make things easier. And storytelling pages are preferred.
Yeah, please. It just makes it easier. Or like Aaron, his name was right there in the top of the page. So if it's not in the file name, then the top of the page, just somewhere where I can see it. But usually, like the signatures, when you guys do signatures, it's a little hard to read because we're artists. We like to do artsy fartsy things with our names. So yeah, just don't count on me being able to read your signature on the artwork. All right, so we're gonna do something fun here. I know that we've been talking about doing, showing you guys fan art, and it's just been a circus here. Just putting this Indiegogo and just keeping up with everything and trying to get artwork done, the writing on black and white and the artwork done for black and white, and then working with the color and letter. It's been a little hectic around here, and then just keeping up my normal chores and things around the house. We didn't get around to posting fan art. So here we go. So we've talked about John Davies, and I think he's come in on a couple chats. He used to work at the Shack here. He's a really talented guy. And so we thought we'd give him a little showcase here. He worked on this with, I think, Sean Forney. I'm not sure how to say his last name.
Is that the colorist?
I think that's how you... yeah, that's the colorist, but I don't... Let's see if I can find his signature. I think I hung out with him a little bit at San Diego this past year. Forney? Yeah. He's a really talented guy. I was looking at his work in Artist Alley, and he's a good guy.
The color's pretty good.
Yeah, the colors are really good, and John's stuff, look at that. I mean, look at the energy, look at the power there. It's very cool. I'm just so flattered. Look at what you guys are doing. You even put your logo in there, Taylor.
That was when we were experimenting.
That was the early logo.
With whether we wanted the full target or not inside the yin yang.
Yeah. So that's the work in progress logo. I don't know where John found that.
I don't know.
But look at him. It's ballistic. Pop, 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 pop. Look at all that kinetic energy in the rubble here. Look
Those
at
are all trank bullets.
When they hit you, they'll knock you out instantly. I thought the trank would be cool, like visually, if the gel inside was red. So when it hit you, it still looked like blood. I'm not going to critique this, so don't worry. We're just showing stuff off.
For those of you that don't know, Black in black and white, he disposed of people in a non-lethal way. So his bullets really are, they're like tranquilizer bullets.
Yeah, he's had his share of killing when he was a spy.
Somebody had a question about color. I don't know.
He's lost his taste.
Do you know a tutorial on how to physically paint on a comic book? I can only find how to do digital.
Well, I would imagine you just get paint with a brush and just paint over it. What they used to do is when they did hand-painted comics, is there's a thing called blue line, and what you do is you print out the artwork in a blue line, and then you paint on the blue line. And so what they would do is they would have like an animation cell, like acetate. I don't know if you've ever seen an animation cell, but they're transparent. And then they would put that transparent acetate line art over the color. So the blue line, if you paint on the blue line, you can paint over the blue line. You're not beholden to it, and you can do anything you want as long as it's still within reason. And then it's non-photo blue that it's printed in. So, meaning when you print that, you won't see that blue line that's holding all the color together. And then once you put that acetate overlay, the line art over the blue line color, then you have like the combination of the two. I don't know in this digital age how you would go about doing that, because at that point you would still have to scan it in. So I think I'm just making this up on the fly, and maybe Taylor can help me here. She's more technically savvy than I am. But I'd print it out in blue line, then I'd do the hand color on the blue line, and then I would scan that into the computer. And then what I would do is I would get the black line art, and I would do the same thing that I was talking about, but I would do it in form of an overlay over the color work. So you still have your hand color, but it's in a digital file, and then you can put that black line art over it, because I think all printers, they need digital files now.
Yeah.
The way I was telling you would be like in the old days where they would actually take a photograph with a camera, and then they would make a negative from that for the printers. But now everything's digital. So what do you have to say, Taylor? Is that?
And I think that'd be the easiest method. And I think if the blue line is still like prevalent, if there's any bleed over, what you can do is you can go into channels in like the layer section, and you delete the blue channel, and that blue will go away right away. I think if you're talking about those sketch covers, those comic sketch covers, Art, I know you have some experience doing commissions and stuff on those. Do you think paint would look okay on this? Because I know there's some complications with ink on
the thing is
covers.
if you use like markers, like those Copic markers and stuff, you can ink over those markers. But if you're using like a paint, because when he said paint, I always just still think of like
acrylic or something.
Yes, yeah. Like paint. So if you're going to use paint, that's hard to ink over. So if you were going to do it in a sketch cover, something like that, you would paint it, and then you would go over it with a black marker to get your black line art. But that seems like a hard way to do it, and also seems like it wouldn't be as successful. I think the marker work better than paint, because marker always lays flat.
Yeah.
So when you put a marker tone down, it lays flat. But when you paint, there's always like variations in the paint. So
textures.
It's thicker or thinner, and it has textures in it. So that's hard to ink over with a marker or a brush or anything. So I hope we answered your question, because I wasn't real sure what you were asking. So let's go to the next one. So that was John Davies. I don't have names on some of these, because some of these are older, because we went to the black and white vault for some of these. And this was a friend of mine, Terry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sala, yeah, thank you. I was blanking on poor Terry's name. And he's a black and white fan, so he commissioned me to do a black and white drawing some years ago, and then he gets other people like an Artist Alley and stuff to draw black and white. I thought this was a really cool version of them. Look at how cute she is. Look at that.
A good animated series design.
Yeah, it is. It's really cute. And those are the old. Actually, this is the middle. This is the ongoing series costumes.
Alpha said that looks good. Looks more cartoon with an anime vibe.
Yeah. She's got the bigger eyes and stuff. I like I don't know. She's got like a cute little body and everything. And Reed he looks a little angry. Like, what? Like, she just did something wrong.
I think so. Their personalities look a little reversed here.
Yeah, she's always doing something wrong. So you're just gonna have to read the story and find out for yourself. Yeah. So this is really cool. So I think this next one, this thing is awesome. All right. There's a comic professional. His name's Kari Andrews. I don't know if you guys know who this gentleman is, but he's extremely, extremely talented. And before he broke in professionally, this is a 1994 drawing, so this is 24 years or so ago. So this is what Kari was doing before he broke in professionally. So this is before I knew he was, Kari, because he wasn't that guy yet. So we went back into the black and white archives and we found this. He sent me the original. This is a scan of the original drawing that he did. This was not a photocopy or anything. This is awesome. Like, he sent me the original, and we never got to publish it in the comics, sadly. So I'm giving Kari some exposure now, and just to let him know. I don't know if it's Kari or Carrie Andrews, but yeah, this is brilliant. This is what he looked like in '94. His artwork, and yeah, he's a mainstay comic book artist today. So sometimes people that do fan art go off to do great things. So this was pretty amazing. So this was from '94. The other, like, this was probably from 10 years ago, and then this one is John doing this currently
from like a week.
Yeah, so the neat thing is we have fan art, like 25-year-old fan art, and we have fan art that, we just got yesterday. So anyways, I just want to encourage you guys. I thought this would be fun, and I know we've been talking about the fan art for a while. We might have, I think we posted more on the Black and White site and on my personal Facebook site. And I think if you go to Twitter, there's some more of the fan art in those two locations.
Yeah, if you follow the links, I'm going to be putting some links in the description. There's a Black and White official Facebook page where you can find more of these if you guys are interested in seeing them.
Yeah, and we'll be posting more down the line. And also, please, I encourage you guys, do some fan art. Do some fan art, and during this campaign, and maybe even beyond, we'll, either in Hacks Chat or in the art portfolio reviews, we'll start showing your work off and giving you a spotlight. So as always, guys, just keep up the good work. Practice. Always strive to get better, and have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.